tips for DIYing. I tried to DIY for a few years before seeing David, and I actually got pretty close with a lot of my colors and selections. If I would have gone on my whole life wearing those colors, I would have looked pretty good. I would have looked fine, you know? It's not a problem. It wouldn't have been a problem. Like, I want to help other people at least feel like, you know, I'm getting close, or I feel comfortable with what I've settled on. One of my first tips, which I actually didn't do, but I really wish I did now in hindsight, is get like one of those swatches of different paint colors, or swatch books of different paint colors. Get as many colors to look at to see with your eyes in person, in different lightings, in different settings for yourself, because I think it really changes how you think of color. You can play little games with yourself, like, how can I describe the difference between these two colors, or do these colors go well together, or even trying to create a mood with colors, whether it's a summer in Italy versus a midnight stroll in the forest or something like that. You can try to see, can I create these simply using colors? It will help you hone and train your eye to see these slight differences and to really develop an eye for color. Another thing is try things on in stores. If you can't try them on, just drape them over yourself. Just look, even in horrible fitting room lighting, you will notice differences between certain colors on you and how it interacts with your face in particular. I think most of what I learned from fashion so far has been trying things out, trying them on and being like, nope, I don't like it. Why don't I like it? Let's figure it out. And sort of troubleshooting, because this is not just, you know, it's not like you're a dress-up doll where you can just cut and paste things onto yourself. You have to try them in person. You have to put them on your body. You have to move in them. You have to interact in them. See how you feel in them. And that will give you more and more hints toward what in reality is going to work for me, because you are the one who is going to literally have to wear the clothes. So you better, it's best for you personally to try them out for yourself and see with your own eyes and with your own body and senses. Another thing is, this is easier said than done, but to objectively, as possible, break down your features. There are a lot of other systems that suggest things like this, and I would say if you know your type in other systems that are more body shape based or face shape based, again, this can be easier said than done. It can be very fraught and emotional, so be careful and take care of yourself while you're doing this, because sometimes it can just get hairy trying to describe objectively your own body. Certain things I noticed, for example, about myself is I always felt like my face, like, it's not an oval, it's definitely not a square. There's like some sharpness to it, but objectively I can say, like, okay, my face is not a circle, it's not circular, and that was confirmed by David. He's like, don't do anything circular, it just doesn't do anything for you. But it is more oval, it's more rounded V, it's more, there's a little bit of pointiness, but it's not at extreme. I'm not gonna go for a extreme sharp V-neck, but as you can see, this sort of like rounded V and creating these oval shapes, or this kind of smooth shape, is good, because it's my face isn't too soft or it isn't round, but it isn't sharp. Another thing is my features are kind of big. Like, my lips are big, my nose is, you know, large on my face. My eyes are like not too big, but you know, they're there. My eyebrows, you know, my features have a lot of visual weight to them. So when I'm thinking about some archetypes where maybe it's more about looking sprightly or bubbly, that's not exactly my features. They're more dimensional, they have more visual weight to them than maybe delicate features or sharp features or more rounded features or things like that. Just note them objectively, just figure out what they are and try to mirror them in the shapes and the types of things you're choosing. If you're choosing, for example, a plain untextured t-shirt, if you put that on me, it doesn't really work, because if you look at my objective features, even I think you can see in this lighting a lot, there's, you know, lots of grooves and dimensionality to my face. My eyes are deeper set, my bones are more, I don't know, there's just dimensionality. Even my hair, it's not straight and smooth, it's very kind of, there's layers in it naturally, and it's kind of just like textured as it is. And so then when I wear textured clothes or even patterns that look like textures, it's more flattering. And if you're trying to go for something that's not naturally in your features, question it. Like if I were to wear something very, very shiny and metallic, like, or have a patent leather, I'm like looking at my features, I'm like, well, what's shiny about me? I don't have particularly like smooth or straight hair. Or if I were to try micro patterns that are small or polka dots, it's like, well, where are like where are my like super rounded features? Where are my rounded defined features? I don't really have that many of those. This is another suggestion that may be fraught, because comparison is the thief of joy, as they say, but compare yourself to other people. That sounds wrong, but I think when you look at who Zyla mentions as, you know, verified in his book or around the internet, you will find similarities and common threads between those celebrities, and you will find differences between those who are not of that same archetype. One of the biggest things for me was noticing those similarities between the verified summer celebrities and myself. Whereas I looked nothing like, I don't know, some autumn celebrities or some spring. Like I look nothing like any of the spring celebrities I saw, even the ones who technically have very similar, who people might say, oh, well, she's also light-skinned black, so they would have similar. I mean, even Rihanna, for example, if you look at me and Rihanna's coloring, it gives you a very different impression. Hers is very bright and sweet, and mine is kind of deeper and dimensional. Even though my skin is technically lighter, it's still almost like there's more angst to my coloring than someone who is a spring, for example. And once you have nailed down some archetypes that you think you might be, you can look at those color palettes and think, do those color palettes resonate with me at all? Which one would you cast as the witch who casts spells and who knows a lot about potions versus the fairy who you come across in a forest and who's playing little tricks on you? There's just going to be naturally some people that fit better into certain impressions or certain characters. It's not going to do them justice as a whole. It's not going to speak to all the dimensions of their character, but just, again, based purely on objective physical facts and comparisons. Which one would you choose? I'm guessing you would choose the Sunset Summer for more of the witchy look, and then this other type for the fairy. That's just how it would be. Or, you know, if you were going to cast a queen or a, you know, if you were to paint some or sculpt someone as a Grecian statue, here's the one you would choose. Things like that. Another question to ask yourself is there anything that you know? I mean, that sounds kind of condescending, but there are things that we know about ourselves. There are intuitions we have. There are feelings. Give those the time of day. Do I know, like, I look so good in neon colors, or, you know, that I've never liked the color bright white on me? You know, those things that you know in your heart to be true, investigate those and try to follow those threads and see how far you can go with it. If you know you look good in bright white, think, do I also look good in bright blue, bright red? Or is it the lightness of the color that's good? Do I also look good in more muted white? Or do I look good in, I don't know, a pastel purple or things like that. You can kind of take those qualities and play with them, whether it's going along those same lines and trying more of what you know looks good, or contrasting to find out what you think does not look good. Where's the line between those? Where's kind of the parameters that you're trying to work within? We can sometimes have trouble trusting ourselves, and we can look for validation from other people, and society will tell you, you know, you're not enough, you don't know anything, you need this product, you need to go to this person, you need to ask everyone else except yourself about what you should do. But at the end of the day, you do know things. I believe in it. Even if you are totally clueless about color and style, you probably have a few hunches here and there. And you can also take into account opinions of others. I would be careful with this because my whole life, for example, people would always say, one, you look good in bright colors. I think it's because my skin was not as fair as theirs, and they felt like a lot of darker skinned people than them would look good in bright colors. They weren't really correct. Or they would say, yellow is your color for similar reasons, but then when I would look at the way yellow looks on myself, I'm like, I don't know, it doesn't really do anything for me, but that's just my opinion. I would try my best to wear yellow, but it just wouldn't work out that well. So I would be careful trusting those, especially since opinions from others do come with their own biases as well. Or even saying something like, purple is your color, or wow, I love that color, because they might just like the color, they might not actually like how it looks on you or see how it is blended on you. And I think with a lot of archetypes, the overall effect won't be, oh my god, that color is amazing. It's, oh my god, you look amazing because I can't put my finger on it, you just look so good right now. And I think when you find the right colors, that's what it will do. It will bring out your beauty and your features rather than just being all about the color or the style. Another practical tip, I guess, is scarves. It's like a great medium between finding an actual garment that fits your entire body in the color and just having a little paint chip. I think scarves you can play with in all sorts of ways, and even you can play with season using the scarves. For example, many spring types will get, you know, the type of scarf you'd wear in spring, a kind of light, thinner fabric that you can just tie around the neck as a choker almost in a very like sprightly way, versus a summer scarf where it might be like a linen, relaxed linen that you kind of just drape over your body and let flow in the wind, or winter where you would maybe just get, you know, a heavy wool fabric and envelop yourself in it, versus autumn where you might get a cable knit scarf that's like a little cozy in a sort of warm tone. You can play with those scarves and you can see the effects of that color right near your face, which is where most of the colors on your palette will come from, is like this area as well as this hand area. This color and style stuff, it's difficult, but also you know things. Trust your intuition. And if you want to wear a certain thing, if you feel like it resonates with you in your heart, great, do it, go for it. Please, there's so many voices that are just like, you're doing it wrong, you're not beautiful, you're not good enough, whatever. But if you have a voice inside that feels like amazing in something, just do that. Embrace it while you can, because it's an uphill battle out here, as I'm sure most of you know. The end goal is to make you feel good. It's not about making you into something you're not, or putting you in things that make you feel uncomfortable or that don't resonate with you. It's about making you feel good and making you see your unique type of beauty as valuable and to exist as beautiful in the world in your own way. Ultimately, at the end of the day, looking at yourself in the mirror and being a little bit happier with it and being happier and interacting with the world in a healthier way because you feel good in your skin and in your clothing.